Here we go. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, and we're streaming on both sides.
Now we're streaming.
Totally?
Yep.
100%?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Hi, chat.
What up, chat? Welcome back to the Good Talk, where we recap the game that we just played and discuss what's new in Warhammer and answer all your burning questions, Warhammer or otherwise. We, of course, just played with the brand new Adepta Sororitas codex that is on pre-order today. Comes out next Saturday. Definitely go and get it now because it's going to sell like hotcakes like they always do. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? Having a good time?
I'm having a good time. Yeah. Little mix up there.
That's okay.
It's kinda...
It was really funny. I did the intro and then you're like, we're not live. And then you're like, oh, actually we're live now. I'm like, oh, okay. So anyways, as always, we like to start off with a discussion and recap of the game. So I suggest we might invite our good friend Bridger into the room and discuss with him.
Yeah.
Hi, chat.
How you doing?
I'm back in my throne.
He's back.
Back to Imperial Factions.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
You know what, I will
Drukhari.
say, this is your first ever game that you played as Drukhari, and I think you did well, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
It was a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I spent like 2 or 3 hours last night
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what anything meant. Like, I played against it a lot. I know how the army functions and how to move the pieces.
Yeah.
But once we get to the part where I have to roll dice, it's like, I didn't study that.
You did better than my first games where it's like, what is it? And then, huh? And then, okay. But don't forget about this ability, which looks like this one, but it's slightly different because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it was all right. I only had to look up a few profiles repeatedly. But,
Repeat it, yeah.
but you know, that's learning a new army.
Exactly.
New sisters, huh?
New sisters. Yeah, so, start off the bat, I think talk about the elephant in the room, which everyone is talking about online, which is the fact that this book seems to be basically a nerf.
But not the dumpster fire everybody says it is.
It's not a dumpster fire at all. This is a perfectly fine book. It definitely has legs. It has more than just good bones. And
It also has nice legs.
Not legs. A little weird considering the subject, but
That was the joke.
you can go far with it. So we saw a few things today for the first time. We played with the new Argent Shroud rules, which I started off the game by saying they're kind of one of the more boring of the chapter tactics, but they offer really interesting play to me.
Just good.
They're just good. Like the reroll isn't something that we're coming to see and really appreciate when it's not your only chapter tactic, right?
It's irksome, I gotta say. I wish
You
it
don't
was
like it?
not like I'm coming to the conclusion that just all these reroll chapter tactics should go away.
Interesting.
And maybe I'm a curmudgeon,
You are a curmudgeon.
but it just feels like everything always does its thing. So the gradation between a BS3 and a BS2 faction, or a BS3 and a BS4 faction, it keeps getting like whittled down because everybody's ultra efficient. So the difference between being more elite and less elite is less.
That's a fair point. I think I feel it less here than I do in like Drukhari, for example, because you're going to put it on a raider that only has one big gun that gets the reroll all the time. Whereas here, it's like, cool, you can choose to put one melted like I did, but really it's like you're re-rolling one out of your whole bunch of shots, and so it's less gamey, I guess.
But it's hit and wound in shooting, hit or wound in shooting and combat. So it's just a boost anytime you activate any unit.
Yeah, I like it because it continues to take us away from having to stand in auras. You have that independence.
Yeah, but then they still have the auras.
Yeah,
and when you stack them, they're basically BS2.
Yeah.
Rerolling everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's another thing we see, right? It's all about infantry. It's all about core.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the emulators did fine this game. I think I rolled fine. There's going to be games where they don't do that.
They're still not retributors. They're great.
But even before they weren't retributors, and now they don't get rerolls to hit and wound from all the new stuff, right? Because they don't have core. So this reroll helps them a bit. Like the odds are, you have 4 shots with the multi-meltas from that thing. You're supposed to be hitting with 3. You're gonna reroll 1, so it's not bad.
It's not bad.
I don't know. I feel you. I know where you're coming from.
It just feels like everything always does its thing, and we're just playing chess now. My piece takes your piece, but from across the board.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true.
I don't know. Back in my day, Warhammer was a dice game, and you could fail things.
So is this because you guys are picking units and building to these efficiencies? I mean, what if you choose to get a little sloppy, take some units that aren't so good?
It does dictate what you want to take, right? Like you could take this a bunch of bolters and it would be trash.
Yeah.
So like you could choose to play this amazing ability badly.
And is that a bad thing? Is that lets people play at a level they want to play? If you want to play competitive, then you take this stuff, but or you can say, all right, I'm going to take a few units out, and I'm going to put in some garbage that looks cool. It's fun to play.
I think that's definitely always an option. And one thing I will say about these new orders is they're more diverse. They're more interesting. You know, talking about different ways to play, better or worse plays, but mostly just different ways. They offer different things. You know, this one's all about ignoring those penalties and getting the rerolls. We talked about Sacred Rose for the extra miracle dice stuff. Bloody Rose is perfectly fine, still can really fight. Evan Chalice, get double Sacred Rites on your whole army, and other really cool like extra miracle dice and mortal wound stuff from their strat. Martyred Lady still interesting, or Martyred Lady a little bit less interesting, except for Junith, who I actually really like now. So I will say, yeah, there's many different ways of playing it, which is cool.
Maybe maybe you need to just take some funky stuff.
No, like there
take a
are
Tantalus, play funky.
There are different levels of efficiency. There's different like ways you can play the game. You can play totally unbound and you just play by whatever rules you want, or you could play with kind of like an agreement that like I'm gonna have a medium list and you're gonna have a medium list. Like you should always find that balance.
Yeah.
But at the highest level of play where you both want to go all out and take the best stuff, the game becomes less compelling when they put in all of these. Everything always does everything.
Interesting. To me, it becomes more compelling just because you're less likely to lose off of just bad luck. I hate losing off of bad luck, and I hate people being able to blame losing off of bad luck too. Like that just sucks for everyone.
To Bridger's point, I mean, that's getting closer to chess. Right?
Exactly. I want it to be like that thinking game. It's like, oh, you lost because this person messed up or this person didn't mess up. So I think for me personally, I think the randomness is fine, but I acknowledge your
I like randomness in a game. I like having to have contingencies. I think that adds a depth to a game that chess doesn't have. Chess doesn't have like, what if I don't take? Like, what if the take fails? What if I put my piece on their piece and they just put me back where I started?
Right.
Now what? That's not in chess, but that can happen in Warhammer.
What if you can like deep strike your knight?
Yeah, what if I fail my deep strike knight charge?
Yeah.
What happens?
What if your rook can act like a queen for one turn?
Yeah.
But only on a 4-up.
Yeah, that's right, on a 4-up. Exactly.
We might have something here.
I think we're onto it. No, it's true. What do you guys think of this book so far? Obviously, I've had the most extensive look, but you guys saw it in this game. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think they're still good. They're still playable at the highest levels. I think they can still compete even with these new crazy codexes because miracle dice are another way to remove randomness from the game, which rewards a skilled player to know when and where to use your miracle dice and eliminate any possibility of failing an action.
I don't know about if I can speak to it being good or how it stacks up, but I think it's exciting to see that we're not on a runaway train of insanity.
Yeah,
and maybe Admech and Drukhari were
anomalous.
The outliers.
That's a great point, actually. I think it's important for people to consider that. You know, it's probably orcs next, is that what we're saying? We've seen that there's going to be an orc book. And they saw
orcs and Grey Knights.
The three things
Thousand
announced
Sons
were orcs, Grey Knights, Thousand Sons. We don't know the order, but they've revealed orc models and have not revealed Grey Knight or Thousand Sons models.
They showed the box set that has the orc codex in it.
Right.
So I assume that would be next.
Probably next.
So that'll be the next test, right? We've been saying this every codex, but it still doesn't become any less true, where it's like every book is sort of a litmus test for what they're intending to do, what they're planning to do.
Right.
And so we've had 2 wild codexes. Now we wait and see if they're the outliers or not, right? So before we move on, because I wanted to bring it up, and maybe chat knows, but there is one weird thing you can do with Argent Shroud as written, and I don't know if it's intended. Actually, I don't even need to look it up.
Do tell.
You advance, every time you move or advance, or make a normal move or you advance, you count as remaining stationary until the end of your shooting phase.
Okay.
So you could advance and get Octarius data.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't think that's intended, but you totally could. You could perform an action after advancing, depending on how the action's written.
You're right, it's probably not intended. I think they put that cutoff so you can't advance and charge, and they just didn't think about actions.
They should have said, after you do that, in the shooting phase, you count as being
Exactly.
There's a weird...
Which maybe they
count as remain stationary.
Right.
Can you perform an action
Yes.
still?
Yes, you can stand still and raise banners, or you can stand still and not deploy
But
scramblers.
that wouldn't even matter,
So
actually.
the main thing is you can't, because you can move and then do it, because it's at the end of the movement phase, but you can't have advanced.
Yeah.
So it's the advanced part. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If there's one that you have to start at the start of the movement phase with the action, then this would not work for that. So there's probably some out there that you wouldn't be able to do. But scramblers / retrieve Octarius data, you would. So I don't know, just some funkiness. I'm excited to explore this book more. Obviously, we're going to have Morven Val and the gals on the channel soon, which will be really cool.
Well, let me ask, what if that's intentional?
I think it adds more to an already great order that just, it's utility, right? It's movement, and that's just more movement, right? I wish I had more Seraphim, you know? And they would be even more amazing for that. Get tons of movement.
You could advance and do because the new behind the enemy lines is you don't even need to be in their deployment. You get more points if you're in their deployment zone, but you don't have to be.
Yeah.
So you could advance. Wait, that's not an action. Never mind.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was thinking, okay, you could do Octarius data in their quarters, turn one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty strong.
It's really strong.
You're throwing away a unit for it, but
12, 18. Can you do it?
you only need to
On some
go.
deployments?
You only need to go 12 to get into their quarter. Or 13 to clear
You
your
have to
base.
be more than 6 inside of theirs,
Oh, so you need to go 18.
I believe. Yeah.
But you have +1 to advance, and if you move 12 and you advance 7,
Yeah, it's 20.
that's 19.
Right.
Which is more than 18, so you're good. And you have that 1 inch to clear your base.
You're a big base, though. Sorry.
Is it more than an inch?
It's a 32.
Can't do it.
Sorry.
Can't do it.
Well,
They really
go.
thought about that.
they wanted to stop that.
They really.
But you know, you're not wrong that you can use it to that. Like you can stage, like here I staged, and then it was staging to kind of get into your, like just the edge of your deployment zone. Not even, it was just the objective. But you could definitely be like stage, and then boom, deep into it. Because I love the new scramblers, man. I think it's stronger than ever.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I've been wanting to see in codexes some more interactions with actions.
Yeah, that's
Either being able to shoot and do shoot and do an
Like
action.
you should be able to bombard them with artillery and they stop doing an action or something.
Oh, I think you're talking more like permissive, and you're talking about
both would be interesting.
okay.
Anything with actions.
I think it would be really cool because there are some interactions with actions. There's the Necron character, the Psychomancer, can make you stop doing an action.
Yep.
That's super
There's a
cool.
Dark Mancer spell too.
But
Darkmancer,
when has that
Dark
ever?
Angels.
When does it ever come up though? Never.
Well, the Psychomancer sucks. So
And the Dark Angel spell, you have other better spells, and that spell does something else as
it
well.
also takes away OBSEC.
So you're really just doing it for OBSEC. Nobody's ever stopped an action. I would wager a whole $1 that nobody in the world has stopped an action
What?
in Warhammer.
Has stopped an action.
Like they were performing an action and used
Yeah.
some ability like that to stop them from
Well,
performing.
the
the
problem is most of the actions don't continue.
action. Right.
And if they do continue, they're so bad you don't use them in the first place.
Right.
You know?
So I think that's a wager I can win.
Yeah. I don't know. Actions are in a weird spot, I think. I really hate what they did with them in the AdMech book. In a bad way, actually. Like the Holy Orders, where you start in the first part, the initial part, and you go to the advanced part. To do that action, you have to begin it in your movement phase and complete it in your next command phase.
Right.
Or it might be command phase even. But anyways, you have to sit there for a whole turn, which means no moving, no giving auras, no shooting, no charging.
But I want to see more of that.
I kind of do too.
So the one the Celestine has is, I think, what they should have had.
How many points do you get for that?
It's not points. It just takes you from one ability to the next. So you're giving up all your buffs for a turn to get a different kind of buff.
It's the fact that it gives you something that's not great that makes it uninteresting. But what if it gave you something great and you were just like, this guy is going to do nothing for a whole turn?
It could be cool. Nah, I don't know. That's not how I like to play.
It'd be cool.
But the Celestine action is, I think, how they should have done that. For her, it's the start of the movement phase. You can perform this action, or start of the command phase. You can do this action, and it finishes at the end of the move phase. And she prays to the Emperor, and it heals her, and it reses the Gemini.
Yes.
So she can't move, but she can do everything else. And that's what it should have been for the tech
cool.
priests.
But it should resolve. Because I want to be able to interact with it. It should resolve in a future turn.
Right, yeah. That's the thing too.
Because none of these actions that are
interactive.
relevant to the game are interactive. Because you're just like, cool, I do it. Oh, my turn's over. It's done.
Well, the interactivity comes before. So banners, right? You look at banners. Okay, we have banners. can I pregame move on to the objective to stop them from raising? So the interactivity happens before the action can ever be
You have to preempt their action.
Yeah.
But you can't stop their action.
Yeah.
I want a
interesting.
1 CP strat for Tau stealth teams to set like a little drone up, and it does the action while they
That would actually be really cool.
just once, and that's it.
Oh, if you could do an action and walk away, or like
That'd
do an
be
action
sick.
and shoot.
That'd be sweet.
Some
That's
units
cool
like
lore.
that, right? Like Mandrakes maybe should have had. Not that Drukhari need help, but like it's kind
I
of like
agree.
some
If Mandrakes could do an
units-
action and then pull off the board in the same turn.
Oof. Oh, you mean like Skatari sterilizers can? Funny you should mention that.
But they can't.
For-
the action
for
would fail.
CP, maybe
that
for
action
C-
would fail.
Maybe
Not
for
if
a
you scramble.
CP, right?
You can drop in, scramble, and
Oh,
pick
does
them up.
scramble resolve immediately?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why you can't stop it.
Yeah.
So they can drop in, scramble, and then go back up.
That's
in the turn.
incredibly dumb.
Yep.
And they just get to do that, or that's a strategy?
Strat.
It's a strat.
1 CP. It's a busted strat, which I don't.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it's
a
going to
strat
get
that
FQ'd.
Would you pay
interacts
2 for
poorly
that?
with the game.
What?
Would you pay 2 for that? Because you'd be
2 would
paying-
be fair because it's already pretty busted.
6, you'd
It's
be
1
paying-
CP to not interact with this unit
Yeah.
every single turn.
Because you can just, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. The opponent can never shoot it, and they just have a bunch of flamers.
That should not
And they
be
just
a
come
turn.
down, and then they up, and then down, and then up, every turn.
Does the strat let them
No,
still
it's
shoot?
worse. Yeah, you drop down, charge, fight, pick them up, go away.
In the fight phase.
Because they also fight too.
No, that's just very busted. But from the aspect of an action, right?
Uh-huh.
Or like we were talking about swooping hawks. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they can
swooping
do it.
hawks come down, do an action.
And then leave.
If anybody
Would
should
you
be
pay
able to
CP
do
for
it.
that, or would you pay 2 CP?
Because the
for that?
swooping hawk one is the movement phase.
No, I know they can't.
Everything else has been
I know
done
they currently
correctly.
can't. But
But
would
if-
you
Oh.
want to see something?
If
like
any
that?
unit in the
I don't
game,
think it's a fair mechanic. I don't like non-interactivity
Yeah.
for the same reason that we're talking about these actions. I don't like we've had them before. We've had the piranhas that could pop in, shoot, poop out their drones, and then fly away. They were uninteractable unless you could like intercept them, and it's like that's not good. So I still
Chad is furious that you can Auspex scan it, and that's interactivity enough. They're
What?
furious.
Define furious. Chat, I don't
Well,
think
there's a
you're
lot of
furious.
people saying like hex mark, death mark.
Can deal with the Taraxi. No.
Yeah, because you have
Crazy powerful.
the intercept strat. That's
Yeah.
why Necrons are running 10-man units of
Yeah. Death mark.
the snipers now,
Death mark.
which are like
And they can do it anywhere on the board. That's
Yeah.
line of sight.
it's like right, exactly. That's my feeling as well. Is it's like okay, cool. They'll just drop not in line of sight of you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Necron stole everything good from the Admech stole everything good from the Necrons. We want it back. I agree, man. They have your veil.
That's been a feeling.
All right, yeah. So
All right, we should
we're
get
kind
into
of
questions.
we're getting into the philosophy of actions now. So that's the game. Let us know if you have any questions about it. Let's take some questions.
Yeah, thank you, Heinz Rosenheim. Me, Crafter World Eldar, and my brother, who plays Tau, are going to get my sisters into Sisters. After your first game, do you think Sisters are a good army to start? And which units would you recommend for a 1,000 point army? And how fast would we be tabled?
Yeah, would we be
the
tabled?
Eldar and Tau players.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Pretty fast still. They'll still be advantaged for sure. I mean, the Craft will have a chance. The Tau don't really have a chance.
If you guys are a little more familiar with the game, could be good games early on. If she's not as familiar.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, I think Sisters are a great starting faction because
Yes.
they do all of the basic things of Warhammer except Psychic. They have troops that are quintessential troops. They have power armor. They move on to objectives. They're relatively cheap. They have bolters.
They play the objective game.
They're troops.
Yeah.
They have tanks that are they're tanks. Like they just move and they shoot things and they're tanks, right?
Yeah.
They have jump infantry. They just fly around and either shoot or fight.
Yep.
They're just jump infantry. They have dev squads essentially in Retribute. Like they're just they're Space Marines, but without all the yucky association of Space Marines.
Right.
They're just generic faction with cool fluff associated that you can play with the cool fluff, or you can just if you don't want to really learn if you're new. You can put a tank down. You can put your walker down. You
Yeah.
can put your sisters down. Like
You can make like an army, like
a
without knowing
classic
anything
army.
about the game. It's like here's an army, here's a science fiction army. You
Yeah.
play with it. Miracle Dice are also cool because they they teach you what's important about the game, right? And yes, it'll hurt if she goes from Sisters to another faction and be like, I don't have Miracle Dice, but she'll know right away why everything is about the key movement, the key whatever, the key to this. So it's a good learning for a lot of reasons, I think personally.
that's a great starter.
Yeah. What would you start with? Regular Sisters, obviously. I personally don't stress too much about, like, I have a unit of 10 Celestians, and I don't stress about are they going to be Dominions sometimes or regular. That's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to get upset. So I have them, but they are differentiated just so I can use them as a different squad. You know, today the Dominions were Celestians, right?
All sisters look the same. Changed my mind.
Oh, well. So definitely those. Canonists, naturally. I do like the priest and seraphim. And don't. You could do retributors. You could also just do some like dominions with Meltas to start. But I'd probably do like 1 unit of retributors in 1K. And I think that's a
Get
that's
yourself a
solid base.
rhino, man.
Get a rhino. That's another thing.
Classic Warhammer.
Teaches you the value of a transport. It's good,
It really does.
good lessons, Look at this game, I mean, how you can be so bullish with a rhino. It's like, you might not kill it. You might not. And,
But I didn't want to
and you
most of the
didn't.
time. It's like, ooh, if I kill it, they get distance, and I can't really shoot the stuff inside.
right.
and-
Exactly.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more they might be the most like complete, well-rounded average of any faction.
Yeah.
I think guard is supposed to be that, but yeah.
But they
They're
don't really
definitely
have a lot of
They're
close
not.
combat.
Yeah.
They don't, yeah.
But they're supposed to be.
In theory.
They're not. But
And they have a lot of models. It's very hoardy.
It's very hoardy, yeah.
I just don't. If they're supposed to be that, I don't think it's anything close.
These are non-marine Marines, right?
Yeah.
Which in the lore is also the thing too, right?
And if you don't have the overwhelming feeling of the Marine line. Like if I were a new player and I wanted to play Space Marines and I went on Games Workshop's website and I was like, I want to buy an army, right? And then
my
I look
gosh.
and it's like 200 units you can buy. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, can play another game. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I totally agree. I was talking with this about my friend the other day about Sigmar.
Yeah.
He's like, it's kind of nice. Like he's a 40K player first of all, but like the new army comes out, it's like here's the new army, and that's it.
That's it,
And we're
yeah.
gonna move on. So you're like, it's manageable. You can like collect your army and not feel like you're missing out constantly on like
Right.
the new confabuceptors or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Thomas. Howdy, three amigos. As the return of the king looms, lieutenants stir to fill your ranks. Warriors sharpen their blades. Psychers cast their runes. Blood runs. Anger rises. Death wakes. War calls.
Wow.
Wow.
What is going to happen when he comes back?
Why does everyone think he's the king?
what's
First
this
of all,
building up to? That doesn't even fit the meme. He was Gandalf in the meme.
Gandalf.
In this, he's...
Yeah, we're gonna get Brian the White.
And I was like the Mad King
Yeah.
in Helm's Deep.
You are like, yeah, that's right.
I'm the Mad King in Helm's Deep.
You're
And Brian's
Theoden.
going to come back as Gandalf. Does that make you Aragorn or something? Who are
I think
you?
that does make me Aragorn. Yeah. Yeah.
Zach, you're Gimli.
I was gonna say
I
it
love the
too.
dwarves. They're my
He's
favorite.
definitely Gimli.
You are a Gimli.
I'll totally be Gimli. He's awesome.
This is Gimli and Legolas, dude. It's so perfect. Yes. Are you kidding me?
I'm into it.
And Mel's just Frodo.
I love it.
That's amazing.
I'll take it. Thank you, Elite Hatter. Hello, Titans. Where do you guys see the future of big monsters mech models in 9th edition, such as knights, non-Forge World Nid monsters? Thanks for all you do.
Thanks. Yeah, we haven't really seen any books with that, have we? Not in the new one.
Silent King. Mortarion.
The characters, but not like.
I think that's the precedent they're setting.
I would love, yeah. I think for the big character monsters like that, it should be just like they have such a good balance. I think
They have
personally.
such a menacing presence on the board. They really apply a zone of control. They're like, don't you come over here. I'm big and scary. And I love it, but I don't think they're going to do that with a whole army. Like, knights are not going to... If every knight was a Mortarion, nobody would play the game. Here's my 4 Mortarions. Good luck. Like, no one's going to play that game.
I mean, 4 Mortarians still lose the game, I think, personally. I know it sounds crazy, but the reason Mortarion is great, well, one of the many reasons he's great, and the Silent King is great, is because of all the support
buffs,
around them.
yeah.
And it's just like small things that can actually score and do stuff, right? If it was just Silent King, you'd be like, well, I'm here. And they'd be like, well, I'm OBSEC. And you'd be like, oh, man.
Yeah, they would.
lost."
I mean, I
don't
can't
know if
imagine.
it's crazy. I
I
don't
can't
know.
imagine a world where knights don't get some kind of OBSEC.
That's true.
It would be a non-codex.
Right, exactly. So
Nobody would
that's the
play
way
it.
they do it, right?
Yeah.
They make them more like the other things, rather than making them more like these big crazy characters. That's
Tyranid
exactly.
monsters. What do Tyranid monsters need?
They need.
Let's say invuln save is not the answer.
Oh
Even
no,
though
it's
it is.
not.
Even
No,
though
it's not the answer, Zach.
It could help.
Because I've been
It helps.
on this soapbox for years. Just
Oh,
double
okay.
their wounds.
Here it is. Double their wounds.
Just double their wounds.
And we've chat before in the stream. We said bracketing that's interesting. Maybe increase number
yeah.
of attacks.
Yeah.
As like
I'm into
something that maybe gets better as you.
I decided I'm getting off the soapbox. Now that the 3 plus D3 damage weapons exist, Double or wins does nothing. I changed my mind. I'm sorry. I don't want it.
I do think it needs
Basic
an invul,
regeneration.
but it's not enough.
Regeneration is just like stock. All Tyranid monsters.
But regeneration only matters if you don't die.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have like living metal, and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like if they were like, yeah, every Tyranid regains a wound every turn, I would not care.
Okay, so basically we're saying they need all these things
For sure.
Higher toughness.
at the same time.
Higher toughness,
Some
yeah.
toughnesses
Higher
are very
toughness.
low.
Yeah.
Trigons are 6. They're T6.
That's wild.
They're so
That's the same
spindly,
as a
Zach.
raider.
They're so spindly.
So is a Hive Tyrant.
I
Right?
think they should be
No.
T5.
Durability across. I'm ignoring him.
Yeah.
Durability across the board. Increase. You could do toughness. You could do invulns. You could do armor even. Like I think armor is a great solution in the modern day, where it's like 2-up armor on a monster.
Give them 1-ups, man. Give them crazy armor saves. They don't get invulns. Give them a 1-up. I don't care.
Yeah.
You're shooting them with dark lances.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be interesting. They need to be mini Mortarians and mini Silent Kings, right? Like enough, like tough enough and scary enough that it's not defining the whole game, but it's like there's like a horror specs that's like bowling down
Yeah,
on me.
yeah.
I have to deal with that, you know? Not like right now, where it's just like, you know, point and shoot them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Davram. Your mission, Titans, should you choose to accept it, design your ideal melee-focused Tau battlesuit and its rules. Also, Zach, Chap Hop. So actually, I did look up what Chap Hop is.
What is that?
It's specifically a British genre of hip hop.
Oh, it's chip up.
Yeah, and Davram, I have not listened to any yet, but I did look it up.
You looked, you're like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah, I can't remember why I looked it up, and did not listen. But I will listen.
That sounds amazing.
And I have to
I
say,
know what it is.
yeah.
you know, Brett and I, we chat Tau all the time. I will say, I actually don't really want to see a melee-focused Tau battlesuit. I don't like it. I want to see Tau have a piece of war gear that lets them use their weapons as pistols once.
Right.
You know, or
Yeah, that-
not even a stratagem. I want to see a war gear.
Doesn't even come close to solving that problem for Tau. If they can stand in combat and shoot as if it's pistols, they're still useless. They have to be able to shoot as if they were fighting in combat.
Right.
So in the fight
During the
phase,
fight
they
phase.
shoot.
In combat.
Like pistol isn't even enough because you just get your normal shooting every turn.
Keep in mind.
And then you're still taking melee hits.
Keep in mind, we don't know, that was Overwatch, right? They have some Overwatch shenanigans. So if what gets into combat with you is not that much, because, you know, and then you have durability, so you're
think
still there. It's
should-
annoying, you're stuck in combat.
We
but
should
then
learn
at
our
least you
lessons
can-
from 8th, Zach. Overwatch is not a way for a shooting faction to solve combat because it makes everybody unhappy. Nobody enjoys Overwatch being the solution to combat.
Yeah, why are you bully, Zach?
Why? Like, it was horrific for everybody involved. Tau players, I don't think really, they doubled down on it. They were like, yeah, Overwatch, you never charge me.
That was the way to play it.
But they didn't enjoy it.
Oh, I love it.
All right, well, you're just a
a
mean
monster.
person.
I know.
Like, you are a monster.
I wouldn't have guessed
Because
this.
the whole idea was you're not allowed to interact with me.
Yes.
My answer to you trying to interact with me is to just say no, and then you have to not do
Oh
it.
boy, we should have this conversation all fair. I mean, there are so many ways to get around. I mean, there are ways to get around it. There's people who avoid Overwatch.
Less and less.
Less and less, sure.
Because it's not in the game.
But there's also, I'm going to send this in. I'm going to send a Rhino to tag your crisis suits who are armed to wipe out infantry, and then I'm going to send my. I mean, there are ways.
Well, yeah.
There are
If
interesting
there's-
ways to do it. You have to.
But look
you
at
have
how
to work
much
around
more
it.
interactive it could be if you were shooting as if you were fighting. Okay, they charge you with a Rhino. Cool, I don't care. They charge me with the real thing. Cool. Now I fight with my guns and I kill the real thing, and it didn't matter what order they charged in. And now we're playing a
Yeah.
game.
It's cool, but why would they have that and nobody else?
Because they're Tau.
How?
Sure, I guess
that's it? Because they're
nobody
Tau?
else can figure out to use their gun in the.
I mean,
don't
it's a
know.
pretty hard problem to solve. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
It's pretty tough.
But
You come
anyway,
at me with a
this-
chainsaw and I'll figure out how to shoot you with a gun.
I
While
derailed
you're
us.
on me.
David, I apologize. I derailed us.
No,
Oh,
you're
no,
good.
we have to answer Davram's question.
Design your ideal
Adrian
melee.
and I-
Oh, you did derail us. You're right.
Adrian and
Sorry.
I have.
Yeah, you guys.
We
have
have
this locked.
perfected
Talk
this.
about your
First of
how,
all,
your samurai sword.
it has a gloom prism, so it can deny psychic powers. It's like mounted in the back. This is important to the melee part. That's the first part.
So it's like a frog turtle.
Yeah.
It's got a turtle shell
Uh-huh.
and a frog head.
Yeah.
And it's got stumpy frog arms.
Yeah.
And it's got two samurai swords.
Yep.
and it does front flips, and that gives it the fly keyword, like the stiletto Demacaron.
It's true.
It's a frog ninja,
Yeah. Which
a
is
frog turtle ninja.
also aquatic themed, which matches the Tau.
Matches the Tau.
Yep.
Loops it all together.
Yep.
And has samurai swords to loop in that anime theme.
Which is not a real thing. So,
Holistic.
Avram, which answer did you like the best?
Well, your answer wasn't an answer, Zach. So by default, we win.
Yay! Yeah. Default win!
Thank you, Martin. Hey, guys. Had a lovely day shooting in the sun with smoked salmon bagels, followed by alfresco Italian. Hope you guys can join me soon. Anyways, do you think Orc Boys should have gotten toughness and AP?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, he's saying, do you think they should have?
Yeah, of course. They need
100%.
more.
Even that, it's like, how many points is a boy?
Well, we don't know yet.
I
But
know.
I've
That's what I'm saying. It's even as is, it's still not even enough until we have all the information.
well, like I've said it before. Like T5 AP1 boys don't scare me at all. Like witches are T3, but they have a 4-up invul in combat and they advance in charge and they're AP1. And strength is also irrelevant for them. So like,
Orcs advance in charge will have AP1 and a higher strength than your default witch.
but strength is irrelevant at this point.
No.
Really? Universally.
So why didn't? So before the game, we talked about combat drugs, and we reconfirmed that you should be taking +1 strength. You have +1 strength across the army. Specifically.
I did, but that was mostly for simplicity because you can just reroll wounds for free.
No.
And then +1, or not for free. It costs CP.
It
but
costs
like,
a lot of CP.
But +1 attack is gonna beat that out almost every time.
It's basically a +1 to wound against most things.
Yeah.
That's better than +1 attack.
But not when you can get reroll full wounds. In addition, when you need it, because you'll blend anything that I touched. I either blended, or it was T7.
Yeah, in this game, because I knew, like I've tried, like it's a good strat, the extra AP, but it costs so much.
The reroll wounds.
Or the real wounds, yeah, same, yeah. Both there's two solutions, and they're both very CP expensive, right? I don't know, you just burn through it so fast.
I think it's nice-ish for boys. I mean, of course, they're strength 4, but like to be strength 4 against tough 3 is nice, but to be T5 is much less nice.
I agree the AP is the bigger part of the equation here.
Yeah. But then again, like everything's got impulse now. I don't know, man. Game's getting weird.
It is getting weird.
I think
like it,
orcs
though.
need more stats than just 1 AP and T5.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. Maybe like permanent transhuman or something.
I don't know about that. Yeah. That would kind of invalidate the T5 thing. But
that's true.
But like we haven't seen how many attacks they get.
The AP arms race is interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's one way to put it.
Your basic troops have to have AP now, and they all do. Your Rangers, you have AP too.
what's Vanguard?
So the Vanguard are none, but you can bump them up to a -1.
Okay.
And Rangers are -1, you can bump them up to -2.
Okay.
Big deal. Big deal. Yeah. So
They're not going to give guardsmen AP. Lasguns aren't going to have
No,
AP.
lasguns. I don't know. I'll be curious to see what they do with lasguns.
They might go strength 4.
Strength 4?
They might go strength 4. I don't know.
What about like? Yeah. No. Anyways, I was about to go in tangent.
That would change guard
There's
pretty
some
dramatically.
implications for guard and town, like these shooting armies that have.
Tau. There's no reason Tau troops shouldn't have AP.
Yeah.
Fire warriors should be strength
Oh
5
my God.
AP1.
Agreed.
Like they have the best guns in the galaxy. That's why they're strength 5. But then Space Marines figured out how to have AP2, and Tau are like, how do I gun? I don't know.
They're really good Nerf guns, man. I'm telling you.
Were we not going to address this lovely day shooting in the
Oh, yeah,
sun with smoked salmon bagels?
Martin
yeah.
lives the life we all wish we could. Martin does skeet shooting pretty often on the weekends.
Okay.
And eats at country clubs fairly frequently.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going for the Olympics on it, I think.
I think, yeah, he's
An
like a really good
Olympic- an
competitor.
Olympic level, basically.
That's super awesome. Not necessarily the life I want to skeet shoot. That's
No?
interesting that I didn't know that about you.
I mean, it sounds fun.
It's like, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not like a gun person, but if I go there and I can shoot inanimate objects and then leave and not take a gun with me.
no, he's shooting, well, they're inanimate, but he's shooting smoked salmon bagels.
No, He's not shooting bagels.
No, he definitely is.
dingus.
No, he is, because then he says later he had dinner. Outside, he had Italian
You're
food
right.
outside.
On a day where I eat a bagel, I just don't eat dinner.
The smoked bagels like. Boom.
It's a little decadent, Martin.
You have been hanging out with us too much reading Games Workshop rules. Now, if you look where the comma's placed in this sentence, he's clearly shooting the bagels.
All right, maybe we have more Martin here, so maybe we'll get a follow-up.
Oh, okay.
Reason I ask about Orc Boys with toughness and AP, reason I ask is that I love the feeling that you kill loads of orcs with bolters, but that wave, if it reaches you, overwhelms you the next wave with the number of attacks. But now bolters will be pea shooters.
Does it overwhelm you, though? I just bounce off of Marines when I use my boys. Like, it used to be the way. I do my Scar Boys, Goth Boys, tons of attacks, 150 attacks going in. And then slowly but surely, as Primaris started coming into the game, at first it was like Death Watch that started using them. And then I was like, oh, these Death Watch matches are really rough because I can't get through these like 5 kill teams of guys. And now everyone's Primaris, and you just can't get through anything with regular boys. So I don't think they need the AP to get through. And then I think orcs, at least in the lore, they should be tougher. Like orcs are a joke, and they don't feel like in the lore they're big hulking beasts that like have no Space Marine armor, but they're naturally just tough and massive.
You'll shoot them with a bolter, and you'll blow out a chunk of flesh, and there's just so much more flesh.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Right.
And that's like, if
I think
we
it's
just
good.
go back to the reference material, it's not like they kill droves of orcs without losing droves of Space Marines and firing billions of rounds. You know, like, it's supposed to be hard to kill an orc. And I think in the game, not only do they not, like, do anything when they get there today, they also never get there.
I know.
So they need to get there.
They need to get there.
And the game is so lethal now that you need something like T5.
Yeah. Now, is there a fine balance, and could the points of boys easily make them terrible or busted?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
We're
We
gonna
need
see
that
on that.
final part of the equation, mostly attacks, but also points, really.
I am very curious how many attacks they'll have.
Probably like 12.
12 a model.
Yeah.
12 a model.
Only on the charge, though. Not on the charge.
On the charge, like
Not on the charge,
13.
2.
They're gonna
charge 2 attacks.
re-release the dice app. They have to.
God, I know.
There'll be weapon skill 6.
256 attacks? Come on, you can't roll that out.
I like 256. That's
This one actually, this question, I've seen this pop up a little bit. You guys may have answered this on Thursday.
Jeez.
How do Custodies look next to T5 orcs? Do Custodies need to be T6? Is what we're gonna get that question down the road here.
I just want to die.
Yeah, like
kill me.
what is there some reason that Custodies are that much tougher than orcs? Do we need to? Does that happen?
Custodies also have 3 wounds. So they literally have 3 orcs put together in terms of that kind of durability, which is another way that we represent durability in this game.
Well,
right?
actually, I have a question about that. We got into this conversation. Wounds always represents durability, or does wounds represent experience in combat and being heroic? Because you know, Cadre Fireblade is 5 wounds. He's T3.
Ooh, that's a good point.
You know, or an Exarch is 2
thought
wounds.
of it that way.
Remains T3. I feel like wounds is GW's way of saying
It's grit.
It's grit. You're either a vehicle or a monster, and you've got a lot of wounds for that reason.
Right.
Or you're this super soldier who's been training in the Palace on Terra for 20,000, 15,000 years.
Yeah.
That's why you have 3 wounds.
I totally agree. 100%.
So where does that put them?
The Custodies?
T5.
But by that,
T5
They're
3
not
wounds?
like bigger than orcs.
By that
really,
measure, they should
in the
have.
lore.
Orcs should have more than 1 wound. By that measure. Orcs have true grit.
No, the average orc is like only a couple years old or something. I think.
Yeah, but
They
they're
grow
also
fast.
very battle hardened.
An old.
They fight each other all the time.
That's true.
Yeah, I think if you want to truly follow the lore to that example, a boy should be 2 wounds, and a Custodies 3 or 4 base.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we're that far off from that metric personally.
But in terms of toughness, going back to the original question, orcs are T5, Custodies T6. I don't know. That's a pretty garbage toughness. Like, there have been T6 things in the past.
That I agree with, yeah.
Not super relevant. How much strength 5 is there in the game?
It's good against Tau.
Not much.
Those fire warrior guns. There we go.
Those AP0 guns we were already struggling with 2 of.
Better watch out.
I don't think toughness is the solution. I think weird extra rules that make Custodies more durable in different ways.
Which also fits into their lore. Why are they more sophisticated and well-trained than orcs? Yeah. But there's another Martin one, so.
There's another Martin one. It's not quite related to 40K. Bridger, it's time to get personal and stray from 40K. I've noticed you almost always wear the same trousers. Do you own multiple pairs of trousers?
Yes.
And how's this working out for you? I mean, they seem clean every time, so not a dig from Martin.
No.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little more concern.
I do own more than one pair of pants. Yes.
Trousers, and
Does
they're just all
anybody
khaki.
does anybody own only one pair of pants?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a question we want to answer for a number of reasons.
Notice how he's dodging around the question here, though.
Yeah.
He's like, hypothetically, does anyone in the world only one pair of pants?
Maybe homeless
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Maybe homeless people.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
But yes, of course,
That's
Martin.
why I didn't want to answer the
I wear
questions.
multiple. I own multiple pairs of pants. I don't wear them all at once, but I do own multiple pairs of pants.
We talked about this because you and I are teachers, and we're very cognitive of like making sure you don't wear the same shirt or even pants or whatever it is on the same day twice in a week, because especially if you have students, and we both, we teach kids,
always.
they will tell you to be like,
Yep.
you have the same shirt. Don't you have any other shirts? And they're just brutal. So-
I literally this morning took 2 shirts, this one and another one.
Yeah.
And then I checked on YouTube the stream
Yeah,
from last Saturday when I was here at the QA.
Right.
And was one of them, I was like, oh yeah, I wore this one, so I'll wear this one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotta check.
I just wear a bunch. I buy a bunch of the same thing. I'm lazy.
That's also true,
And I
yeah.
don't care about fashion or whatever. I'm just like, oh, I need to buy pants. Cool, 5 of this. I need to buy shirts. All right, give me 10 of those. Like,
I love it. It's so Bridger.
It's
You're like a cartoon character.
just easy. Yeah. No, honestly, like cartoon characters
Yeah.
wear the same clothes every time. They always look the same. It's iconic.
Iconic. Thanks, Martin.
Hey, thank you, yeah, thanks a lot, Martin, for all of those. Thank you, Alex. Hey guys, with the rise of Super Heavy, do you think the Guard will get Questors Imperialis Knights in their new codex, similar to AdMech?
Oh, interesting.
Is there a rise of Super Heavy?
I don't think that'll happen. There's no precedent for that happening. So I have no reason to believe it will happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree that I think AdMech are in a unique situation, precedence-wise in particular. One little brief history lesson, which happens a lot with AdMech because of the history.
Keep changing.
Yeah, well, when it first came out, there was the Codex Scutari, and there was Codex Cult Mechanicus. Separate books. Came out same time. Separate books. And then there was the infamous War Convocation. And the War Convocation kind of put them all together in the way that people would have liked and expected, and said, here's a formation where you can take basically one of each of the Scutari units and basically one of each of the Cult Mechanicus units, and you get one knight. You have to take one knight. Yeah. And they all come together, they all get Canicles, and it sort of united them in one. And so I think that's where a lot of this history comes from, where it's like, oh, are the knights in the book, are they not? Like even the previous AdMech book, remember the knights were in the codex. Luckily they took it out because it was just confusing because they weren't actually in the army, they were just printed in the book.
Yeah.
When War Convocation came out, that was shocking to people.
It was
It was
shocking.
a little OP'd, I think.
It was it was amazing. I had my frame copy. Actually.
You had to have the models for it, but it was...
It was brand new too. It was a whole, everything was new except for the knight. So not many people did it, but it was really good. So yeah, probably not. It's a cool concept, but I doubt it for the same reasons.
Thank you, Swerveter. Do you all think Games Workshop renames things too often? As a returning player, I find all the new faction, ability, and secondary names hard to track. Veteran players often are using the old names. We say feel no pain all the time,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Nobody actually calls it. That's not what it's called.
There is no term for it, which is another problem. Some terms they've gotten rid of,
Yeah.
And we need some vocabulary to talk about it. Some people call it a shrug, which is cool, but fantasy players call it a ward save, even though it actually functions differently.
That's not how word saves work.
Yeah, but a lot of them, it's like this extra save, and they're like acknowledging that it's something that doesn't exist in the game.
I don't like that. AOS players, stop doing that.
No, it's fantasy players. AOS players, I don't know what you guys call it, but I don't know anyone that's only ever played AOS, right?
Right.
It's still relatively new. But we're digressing.
What do you think? Changing names of things?
I don't like that they renamed the secondaries, even though they're the same, they just revised them. Like, Retrieve Octarius data. This is my favorite. Retrieve Octarius data, which was Scramblers, and Octarius is like one of the places that we're like fighting in like those books and stuff right now. So it's like so clearly saying that this is a snapshot in time, and that the next one will probably be like get this other place, like this is, it's the Disneyland data or whatever. Where the
it's a
next
marketing
High
ploy.
Fleet Leviathan eggs.
Yeah. It's like super specific to like the time period, which is weird and confusing. It's called
Dig up
Scramblers.
eggs.
It's just a marketing ploy. It's like a way to make things seem new and interesting, even if they're not.
It's the Microsoft Word syndrome.
Yeah.
The program is fine, guys. Pushing out new UIs, different features, stuff like that you just don't need.
Hey, we're paying these engineers. They got to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh. And of course, the other thing, which will slow down over time, is them just renaming old stuff to be something that's copyrightable. And that will slow down over time. We're still seeing the relentless...
But I think they're going to continue to rename a lot of more frivolous or like more auxiliary things, like the names of secondaries, the names of keywords.
I agree.
I think they're just going to keep recycling.
Why is an
because they
Eldar
can't be
thing-
copyrighted. Yeah.
Well, the names are also for Aldari are going more towards what the Aldari call things.
Mm-hmm.
And why would they call it a striking scorpion? Like, do they have scorpions?
Yeah, what's a scorpion?
What's a scorpion to them?
Maybe that'd be pretty cool. Space scorpions.
And that's just what it is.
Picture.
They don't
in
name
your
it
head.
after
No, I think that's
they don't
interesting.
have their word for it. Or
Yeah.
something?
Picture in your head, Zach, a scorpion in space, just drifting around.
Yeah.
He's got his little space helmet on.
Well,
and
of course, yeah.
he goes to strike at you, and then he just keeps tumbling because he struck at you.
Maybe that's why they suck.
Picture that.
Oh, you actually mean space. You mean the vacuum of space.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's why he has his little space helmet on.
Wait, so you took out striking
Well, he
in
strikes.
favor of space?
No, it's a scorpion.
You can't. Striking was the word that you had a
He
problem
also strikes. No, he's striking.
They could
and he
call
just
them
keeps tumbling.
striking, malaz or something.
Yeah, it's gonna get something. I think you're gonna see some changes. The names aren't particularly imaginative to be Fire Dragon, Striking
No,
Scorpion.
they're evocative. They weren't imaginative. They weren't creative. It was just to evoke imagery.
It's
like
provocative. Gets the people
fire
going.
dragons breathe fire. They melt things.
Yeah,
It's
That
very
makes sense.
80s.
Striking
Space
scorpions.
Marines, right?
Striking scorpions ambush and stab you.
Yeah.
It's evocative.
I don't disagree. They could do better though.
Yeah, I think they could. So I think you're gonna see more of it, Swerveter, personally. It's
More
more renaming of things,
and more
Oh, for
apostrophes
sure.
probably.
more apostrophes. Yeah, all over every line.
Easier to copyright.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. Two things. One, what do you think is the best combo for Order Minoris? And two, can you read out what the Castigator's weapon profiles are? Can't find any images that aren't blurry. Thank you very much.
No problem. Send your friends to this this clip. We generally try not to,
You can clip stuff on YouTube now.
You can clip it.
like
There you go.
can just clip this second.
because most of the time everything's already on the internet. Nobody ever knows. So Castigator, this is the space. Space. This is their predator. I'm just gonna stop trying to make jokes. All right, I'm done for the day. All right, so they come stock with the Castigator autocannons and 3 heavy bolters, and the Castigator autocannons are range 48, heavy 4d3, strength 7, -1 AP, 2 flat damage, no special abilities. Now you can swap that with the single Castigator battle cannon, which kind of sucks. So there's 2 profiles. There's the Sanctified Shell. Range 72, heavy D6 shots, strength 9, -3, flat 3 damage, blast. It's the D6 that makes me really nervous.
D6 shots.
Yeah, like you have blast, but hold on, let me finish before we.
Okay.
And then you have the alternate firing mode, which is the Pyre Shell. This is range 72, heavy 3d3, strength 6, -1 AP, flat 1 damage, blast, and ignore all cover.
They could have given that AP too.
They could have, yeah. Everything's just a little not what I would like it to be.
I would have liked 2d3 shots on the big
Yes,
profile.
agreed.
And then it goes to 3d3 and it's AP2.
Yep.
That's what I would want to see?
It's just too swingy, personally.
Yeah.
But so that's the profile, if you're wondering.
Wow, we should write rules for Warhammer.
But this answers your question that
We know
This is-
exactly what we want.
this is what we were saying earlier, and I said, take this. If you want something to not do what it's supposed to do, take out 500 points of your army and put a couple of these in.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's
Right.
true. That's very true.
They're cool. They're so cool.
They're pretty cool.
They're
cool.
They are cool.
They don't operate perfectly like other things do, but
don't.
it's fun
I'll get them eventually. Yeah. I can't.
as long as your opponent does that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm afraid of the day we get a codex that I actually did work on, and we're like, who dang didn't say anything about this? I'm like, oh.
Adrian's just hiding.
Yeah, so anyways, the first part of your question, oh yeah, so the Minoris orders, this is the custom orders, right?
Okay.
I looked over them briefly, and off the top of my head, I was looking at ignore -1 AP and +1 AP when you charge.
It's a good one.
It's tasty, so you get a bit of defense, a bit of offense. And I think there's definitely play in them. So I'm just going to go over them real quick in case there's any that I missed. You get the reroll 1 hit or wound is one that you can just give to someone.
Oh, wow. That's one of the halves? And are the halves like a left half and a right half?
No, they're not paired at all.
Oh, uh-oh.
That's why I was like, cool, what are these 2 best ones?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
GW screwed up.
+1 strength against something that's half. +1 strength against something that's half strength, which is eh.
What?
A unit that's half strength?
+1 strength.
That's below starting. Oh, it's just below starting strength. That's not so
oh.
bad. Some of the stuff is like, oh, if you're below half, then you get +1 to
And
wounds.
that's in shooting or combat? Just combat.
No, just an attack.
No, your guns aren't +1 strength shooting at something.
Sorry. Hold on. There's a lot of words that were used here. Why? Oh, is starting strength an actual term?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
the
why
number
it's
of models in
capitalized.
the unit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
When they're below their starting strength, you get +1 to hit. In melee or shooting.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
That's
That's
still pretty good.
real
That's
good.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
That's real good.
Right? Oh, this one was interesting.
That's so good.
You are considered to be in half range for the purposes of your weapons.
That's really good.
Hold on.
Hold on.
No.
Yeah.
I'm still on the whole sisters or BS2.
Yeah, as long as you kill one guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But what would you build? What do you build?
I don't know, but someone's going to find a way, because this and something else. It's this and ignore AP1.
Yeah.
Sisters are BS2 now.
Your retributors aren't though, because what are you shooting at retributors where they've already lost one thing from the squad?
That's fine. Retributors are already great. I don't think they needed to be even better.
So like I like stormbolters.
It makes like battle sisters interesting more because you can like when you need to like finish something that someone didn't finish and they're supposed to.
You get more
they'll do
reliable
it.
as you
Yeah.
get through, which is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I agree. This one's interesting too. Raging Fervor. They're considered to be half range of the weapon's abilities. So again, of course, thinking about retributors. If you have a pistol or assault, so always in half range for melta pistols, melta guns. And if it's heavy weapon, and they're within 18. So it gives you that 18-inch melta on them. So that's cool. And you can't combine it with what? Rites of Fire, which
It
is...
specifies you can't combine it with
There's a
something?
couple ones that they say you can't combine. Rites of Fire is +4-inch range with your flame weapons, of course. And then Unshakable Vengeance is the other one that they won't let you combine with. Ignore any or all minuses to your ballistic skill modifiers. It's quite good.
Is it that the sisters get +1 to hit when they're targeting a unit that's below half strength, or when the sisters are below half strength?
Oh.
No. Each time an attack is made by a model with this convection, if that model's unit.
Oh. All right, that's what.
Wait, really?
No, because that already exists. Somebody else has that. And
Yeah,
it's not
that's
good.
the.
Okay, thank you, Peter,
Thank
for
you.
mentioning that. And I was going to ask you what is the what is like the fluff justification of that? Because I know they do like this martyrdom thing. So I was like, is it them or is it the unit they're
No,
targeting?
you're right.
Yeah,
This is it's called Hallowed Martyrs. It's the first half of the whatever it's called. Yeah. Anyways, sorry guys. Sorry. It says this anytime attack with this conviction if that model is unit. Anyways, so we've talked about a few interesting ones here. Those are the combinations we would be looking towards.
I'm sure there's a great combination in there because they didn't do left half, right half. They just did pick two, which I thought they learned that lesson. I thought they figured that one out. We've had several books where they had left half, right half.
Yeah.
Now they're going back.
These are mostly worse though than ones we've seen, like from AdMech, for example. Because they have some crazy ones in there.
Yeah, I
too.
wouldn't compare to AdMech.
That's true. I think they're fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think they're busted. We'll see.
No, I don't think they're busted, but I think we will see them.
Yeah.
I think people will
we'll
play
see
with
them,
them.
which is cool.
Thank you, Elf Sync. Idea to make Death Guard LOV interesting / playable.
Lord of Virulence.
Add the clause ranged weapons and units within 6 inches gain the plague weapon keyword. to its aura.
Oh.
To its aura.
And it's like a 6s do something else right now, so it's pretty bad. Plague Weapon would be much better, because then they're rerolling ones for their bolters.
And there's like strats that interact. Because there's a strat to make your bolters plague weapons, and then there's another strat to do stuff with that. And it always felt like if this was one strat, like if it didn't cost so much, this would make sense. But I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to pay to make them plague weapons and then pay for the payoff of them being plague weapons. I would much rather than just like have an aura or something.
I think this would have to be a pick one, because aura would be too powerful. Because you take this, you take Arch Contaminator.
Yeah.
You have a line of bolters rerolling to wound.
Yeah, but who's holding those bolters?
Plague Marines?
Right. So now Plague Marines are playable. Like the worst case is Plague Marines are decent now.
I'm just nervous. And then they're inexorable, and they're -1 AP.
Cool, great.
Really good.
There's a decent Plague Marine strategy. Awesome.
Have you met Rangers?
Right?
It's kind of like,
wow, what if Death Guard's iconic troop unit was good? Yeah. That would be crazy.
Yeah, it's true. I can't accept that they're not good. Brian and I play a bunch of Plague Marines, and as soon as you started playing Death Guard, you're like, guys, these aren't good. And we're like, no, they're good. We like them.
Thank you, Daniel. I think I know how you're going to answer this one. I know how I would. Hey, Titans. I built some gargoyles, and they're too loose to stay on their flying stands. He doesn't want to glue them, because they might snap off, and they will.
They will.
Any advice?
You want to take it off?
Magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to magnetize them.
Yeah. Because, they will snap off, absolutely.
It's a lot of work to magnetize them, but you'll be glad you did it, because, you're going to have this army for years to come, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't use magnets that are too small, because then it's a pain in the butt. Yeah. My Seraphim are on the point where they're small enough I will actually just glue them, but gargoyles will snap. You know what I mean? There's like a balance between that.
And magnetize them all in one go.
Yeah.
Make sure the polarity is
correct.
Matched, and the way you do that, I'll teach you the trick.
Okay.
You magnetize one guy.
Right.
You separate them, and you magnetize everybody else off of those two.
Yeah.
So every base has to, you glue it, magnetize to the one base guy, and every new guy you magnetize to the one base you've already done, and then they're all the same.
I like, Miscast, the YouTube stuff. He's got a stick that he made, and it says like the receiver and the giver. And it's just a stick that's labeled that has the magnet glued on each end, and that's like his standard. No matter what, he always uses that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah. Thank you, Zach Thorne. Love you guys. As for my question, what do you guys want to see in the new T-Suns codex, Thousand Suns?
I want to see weird, cool sorcery kind of stuff. Like, just go wild with magic, and not just mortal wounds, but like they can do different cabals and like inscriptions. I don't know.
Do you remember in fantasy?
Okay.
When magic was just a number of hits of an attack that had a strength, and then you made saves against it.
They have that in 7th edition
I
Warhammer.
wanna
Before your
see-
time.
I want to see spells like that come back, because that's way cooler than Mortal Wounds. If they're like, I throw rocks at you, they're strength 5, AP 2, right? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Flickering Flames used to be great, because it was just like a ton of shots, and all your things should be like Flickering Flames, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
I think it'd be cool.
I want to see aspiring sorcerers be able to have like not a psychic tree, but like a few different powers,
Right.
Yeah.
including take your rubric marines. They move, they fly, they get like double their movement, and that's like
what?
Just like levitate. It existed in 7th ed. And was
So you want, it's like the Blood Angel Wings of Sanguinius. You want Wings of Sanguinius for 1,000 Suns.
Sure.
Yeah, like levitation.
Wings of Magnus.
Or like
That's
a
what they
little
call it.
mini teleportation type thing.
Yeah, like a jump, like a shunt.
Ooh, a Zorp. If you could just like
Yeah.
teleport them 12 inches.
I like that too. Yeah.
So you don't have to take every unit in transports, you know?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Man, Zach, such a popular name. I love it. Thank you, Zachary G. When I built my sister's army, the first thing I did was convert 3 units of 6 Crusaders. The new shield Castilians are cool, but is there room for both in my army? I don't want to let go of the shieldy boys.
Great question. I was looking at them.
Shield
yesterday.
Celestians,
Aren't
sorry.
they like real bad Crusaders now?
Crusaders got. It's tough because you are competing for that slot. I don't know. Let's talk about this for a second. So the Crusaders, of course, have the 4+ invuln. They don't have a 2-up save. They have a 5-up against mortals only. They don't take up a slot, which is good.
Oh, nice.
And you can take them in small squads of like 2, which to me is
That's weird.
the most interesting thing about them. It's 2 to 6.
It's just why do they It's weird. Like, why did they do that?
Because they've never really been like a full unit. Like you can't even buy like a box of these guys. They're supposed to be inquisitorial retinues, but we don't have inquisitors in this army anymore. So that's why it's weird that they're in here at all. Personally, I think like make them amazing in the Inquisitor book and not have them here. Sorry, just a second. Elites, Crusaders. I'm looking at points now. So they're only 11 points a model.
It's fine.
That's perfectly fine.
How are they in combat? They just have power swords, right?
It's a power sword, and they only have 2 attacks.
Ooh. Not 3 on the charge, but they have Zealot, so they reroll hits?
They do have Zealot. I
don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have given them 3 attacks.
They should have given them 3 attacks. And then the shield ladies, the Sacristans. The problem is the Sacristans have so much support. They're Celestians. They also have the 4+ invuln save. They actually do have a 2+ armor save.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at points. This is a unit I'm really interested in. It's only 14 points.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, 2 attacks per model is embarrassing. In 9th edition, you might as well not have attacks.
Well, these are also only 2 attacks. but, so they have the halberd, which is strength 6 -3 for 1. The mace is only the sergeant, right?
Probably.
No, they start with maces. Okay, which is cooler. Strength 5 -1, 2 damage. Now that's a profile.
That's south.
The mace is actually better than the. They showed these profiles on.
Yeah, why would you take the
Community,
halberd?
yeah.
The spear is cool. It gives you the best of everything.
Wait, these are the walkers, right?
No, these are the shield ladies.
Oh,
So the reason we're making this comparison is because they're very similar roles. In fact, they share the -1 to wound strat, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think you can run them, obviously, like if you want to make it work just because you like them, but it's hard. They kind of do get phased out. You know what I'm saying? Inviolate shield wall. Yeah, Sacristans or Crusaders in the fight phase, -1 to be wounded. It's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
It's amazing. So you can, what you could do with the Crusaders that you can't do with these Sacristans is make them annoying little screen kind of units. Like, you know, we have the Chimeras in there, and the Chimeras, like, I know I was not killing them at all, but trust me, they're really easy to kill. But a couple of Crusaders is like not such a set thing. So that would be the role if I was trying to find a role for them. Yeah. Honestly, I wish I could get the Crusader shields with the Sacristans. I don't know why they made them give them those weird.
Thank you, Gilliman. M.
Guillaume.
What?
That's Guillaume.
Guillaume. Thank you.
No worries.
With the Dark Techno nerf, I've been thinking for replacements. What do you think of Shredders on Obsidian Rose Cabalite? 3 groups of 10 with 2 Shredders and Raiders, and a 20-man bomb with 4 in Deep Strike.
The problem is, and you know, I'm sure you have thoughts on this. I saw you shaking your head. The liquefiers were so good, the rackifiers were so good with Dark Techno, they were like wildly overly efficient, and I wouldn't get stuck on the concept that you need to make the same type of mechanic work.
Nothing will replace it. Don't try to replace it.
Yeah.
Think, what am I lacking?
Right.
I don't have that. I have points now.
Yeah.
What is my weakness? What do I put points towards? What problem does Shredder solve? Chaff? Do you not have witches?
Yeah, more witches would be better.
Because witches are a cheaper, more effective way to solve that problem, and now you're on the board.
Right. Exactly.
So witches? But I don't think, if you were using rackifiers to kill chaff, I mean, like, cool, I guess, but...
Mostly overkill.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they were doing before was killing elites, mostly, or vehicles, because they just killed everything. So you have vehicle killing covered by raiders with dark lances. If you need elite killing, there's a lot of places you can go. I would go to Incubi. I think they're pretty good.
Hellions.
Whew.
I think so. Hellions are really good if you can play them well. I think they're one of the hardest units to use in the book, but if you can play them well, look at Brad Chester's book list. Even during when rackifiers were good, he had 20 Hellions in that list. Yeah. It's because if you can play them well, they do. They get in there. They have that elite kind of killing potential. I couldn't agree more.
I see in the chat Shredder solved T5 orcs. You know what else solves T5 orcs? 50 attacks from witches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's cross the orc bridge when it's here.
Thanks again, Ernie. How goes it, my Titan dudes?
What up, Ernie?
Didn't get to watch the live battle. Was that a drag race?
Ooh.
But this guy's. But definitely going to watch it later today. What Imperial Knight would you guys say fits the AdMech fluff-wise?
Ooh. Well, it's got to be one of the. It's got to be the Mygira or the Styrics for sure. Those are like literally the Mechanicus ones.
Yeah.
I like the look of the. Can't actually remember now.
The Styrics has the claw.
The claw.
So the Mygira is not the one with the claw. Oh, are you picking between all of them, not those two?
No, it's between those two. I like them both. They're both cool.
They're both.
And they're both pretty dang good actually right now, to be honest.
I think the Styrics looks more AdMech-y because something about the claw,
Yeah.
is like very.
It's all over all the AdMech terrain. The Sector Mechanicus
Yeah.
terrain
Yeah.
has got that claw.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And I think it's the better of the two, if I recall.
The Mygira is talked about online a lot about being very durable.
Interesting.
The Styrics has better weapons to deal with problems.
Yeah.
It has like a gun for every type of unit, but the Mygira is just like hard to kill.
Why is it harder to kill though?
Has the better invuln, doesn't it?
I think they're the same profile.
Then I don't know.
Yeah. I have heard that though.
This is hearsay.
hearsay, I say.
Thank you, Kyle. How do you guys feel about Paragon war suits? Would love to run them along mass Pentium engines to have tons of war suits to charge your opponent. What do you think?
I don't know yet. What do you think? They're
think-
80 points each.
I think I'm not impressed. Like I said before they came out, I don't see a problem that they solved that the codex didn't solve other ways.
I mostly agree. I think, okay, here's the thing. You can't launch Repentia way deep into your opponent's line. So that would suggest that maybe you need a way to actually get on a point and sit on it. So like, cool, maybe they can do this. But I think the other way of looking at it is you go MSU style and solve the problem that way. And I think the Army's better at doing that, especially now.
Well, they're not OBSEC. Like your opponent, if you put two of them on a point, your opponent's cool.
Would it change
it's
if
10
would
guardsmen.
it change your mind if I could make them OBSEC?
Not massively, because
Okay.
I would still put 10 guardsmen on the point and take it away.
Okay, yeah, because the Dogmata can make them OBSEC, right? Because they are core,
Or like,
which is a cool thing.
I'll put 3, because you're not going to put a ton of them on a point.
No, I don't even know if you can take them into squads of more than 3. You
So
can't.
you put like 3 on,
Yeah.
and then my 5 Blade Guard vets take the objective back because
They
they're
just seem
also.
so fragile, man. They're only
OBSEC.
4 wounds.
Yeah.
I know they have 2 up armor, T5, and a 5 up invuln. Sorry, they don't have a 5 up invuln.
They don't have an invuln.
They have a
They have just the 6 up.
they
The
have Sacred
Faith,
Rites.
Shield of Faith.
Shield of Faith, yeah, which you can make a 5 up. You could make it a 4 up with a priest. That's a lot of buffs.
If they can get the 4 up, I'm interested, because then I think 3 of them survive 5 Blade Guard.
Yeah, that's the metric. Let's compare them to Death Shroud for
Yeah,
just a brief
actually, this
moment.
is good because I'll just read Peter's question, which is the next
Sure,
one.
yeah.
He says, late to the part here, sorry if rehashing, but is Adrian okay? We can answer that in a second, but
Yeah.
looks like literally every old Sisters list got nerfed into the ground and many more new models look bad.
Yeah.
Thoughts on war suits?
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, I knew this was coming, unfortunately. So, you know what? I'll tell you this. We've had, like we said, I've had a lot of Adrian's books coming out lately, and at least don't have to worry about another distraction.
Well, I mean, like, I think a lot of people are saying sky's falling, but like, they're fine. It's fine. They're fine. They're good. They're fine.
This
Guys,
isn't
they're
more in
fine.
line with like regular changes that we see in editions or whatever. It's like, oh, this army got worse. It's not like everything got terrible
Right.
by any metric.
This is going to be fun to watch against Death Guard, against Necrons, right? This is going to be...
It still competes.
Yeah.
I think we just pivot. You just play different ways, and that's why it's interesting. It's like, let's turn this. We can't play the way we used to play. That's gone. It's over. We're gonna play a different way.
The war suits do have -1 damage, so they definitely survive
Yeah.
Blade Guard.
Yeah, they definitely survive Blade Guard. I don't think they're bad. I'm just not sure if I'm like, this is the thing I want to have in my list that solves the problem.
4 wounds -1 damage is very deceptive, actually. What's their? They have 3 up armor or 2 up armor?
2 up armor.
Oh, see now I'm interested.
It's a Death Shroud with +1 wound.
That's fascinating.
It's a Death Shroud with +1 wound.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued now
So it's 240 for 3, which yeah is 80 points
because
each.
it doesn't feel good to shoot anything at that. Like heavy bolters are okay,
Just
but they're
Haywire.
2 damage.
That's it.
No, yeah, I don't like.
Haywire.
And Haywire, nobody plays Haywire anymore.
Yeah.
It's like just Harlequins.
Hey, can I ask, is this, with the little picture here, have new codexes been doing this? Did AdMech and Drukhari do this?
They've always the
picture
unit
of the model?
picture.
Yeah, the little picture like that. I like that. That's
Yeah,
really-
it's a 9th
that's
edition thing.
Yeah, I like it.
It's nice, right?
It's super
That's
cool,
nice.
yeah.
It's a cool little interface thing.
I haven't seen a 9th ed codex, really, yet.
Well, there you go. You should.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. You know what? There's only one way to know.
I'm interested.
Gotta try them out. So that was a definitive answer.
Thank you, Morton Joe. What are the main differences between the 2 tables of prayers for sisters? Is either table a must-take?
Tables for prayers. There's only 1 table for prayers.
Or do either have must-takes? Yeah. 2 tables of
the
prayers.
hymns of battle. There's just 1. So there's the
prayer. No, he's not asking about the.
So
like Bridger was saying the left and the right orders, or.
Correct. No, because they don't have that. The blessings are the chapter command upgrades, which we saw this game. The hymns of battle. It's just 1 chart. So we'll try to keep an eye on chat if we're misunderstanding your question. But as far as I can tell, it's just 1 chart. And I played, in my opinion, the 2 best ones here. Well, there's the 3 good ones. The base one, which is +1 attack. The Shield of Faith +1, amazing. And then the extra Sacred Rite, also amazing.
Yeah.
There's another one which I think is interesting, but you build your army around it. It is when you're 6 is to it's in ranged attacks for core units. 6 is to hit, automatically wound. That's not the good part. If you're within half range, you get +1 AP. Now you can combine that, get a bunch of shots at -1 AP, combine it with some of the other things that you have here. That is really tasty. There's other ones that suffer from the 9th edition problem, like Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude, makes your unit so that if they have any psychic powers on them, they're gone, and they can't be affected by any. So you can be like, Null Zone, I don't care, just straight through it. But why are you going to take this? Are you going to take this in every single matchup and just, like, you have to put this in your list nowadays.
Weird.
There's also a Smite. There's also a Super Saiyan for the Priest, which is pretty cute, because they can actually be buffed now.
They're like fake chaplains.
They're fake chaplains.
They're little tiny little baby chaplains.
They're like 25-point chaplains.
This is weird. They made sisters just smaller space marines. Why did they do this?
I like this better, though, because it encourages you to actually have several priests like along your battle line, like chanting and doing their hymns.
Which is cool, right?
And that's what it should be. That's what is in the artwork.
Yeah.
It's not like the one guy that runs in and like dies with everyone. It's like, that's not.
The priest is always the guy pointing, and then they charge from the priest.
Yeah, he inspires them. Yeah,
the
exactly.
anime.
You just slap him on the butt on the way out.
That's not in the anime.
Probably is in the anime.
Thank you, Simon Feldman. Hi, guys. Been painting up some Harlequins.
Yeah.
Starting to paint a Harlequin Wraith Knight. What is the best way to run a Wraith Knight right now?
Izzy did a beautiful Harlequin Wraith Knight. Have you guys ever seen that? For Jeremy this year?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, a single Wraith Knight, we don't have much choice right now, unfortunately.
They just get a little cheaper, CP-wise, right?
Yes.
Are they
CP
included in
wise.
that? They're in that.
Because they have the craft rules keyword. So it's just, you can't, if you're, the way it works, this is the wrong book. The way it works is the Super Heavy Ox has to share a keyword with your Warlord, duh, otherwise you're not Battleforged.
Naturally.
If that keyword, the only keyword they share is Imperium, Chaos, Eldari,
yeah, Tyrannid,
and Tyrannid. Those are the 4. If it's one of those 4, then you don't get the +2 CP.
If the only keyword?
If that's the only keyword they share. So like, let's say my Warlord is a Space Marine, and I bring a Knight.
Right.
The only keyword they share is Imperium.
Oh, okay.
So I don't get the +2
That's
CP.
what they're preventing. Okay.
Right.
Right.
But if we're the same faction, so I have a Space Marine Warlord, and I bring an Astraeus, they share a Space Marine keyword, at least the Adepta Sororitas.
Yeah.
So they get the +2 CP.
Okay. Cool. So they got cheaper. That's good. You can't get chapter tactics.
They got cheaper only for Warlords Craft Worlds.
Yeah, not
if your
cheaper
Warlords
for
Harlequins,
oh right,
they only share the Eldari keyword, and so it won't get cheaper for CP.
You can of course give them the reroll, the buff from the Harlequins. The Harlequins actually have a strat to give one of their like charms to a craft rolled unit. So I believe you can do that on him. Unfortunately, you won't get the strats either. So yeah, there's really not too much optionality here unless you're willing to take in like another detachment with craft roll. That unlocks more options and things like that, right? Unfortunately, it's pretty limited right now. So that's what we're dealing with. But it's a great conversion opportunity for sure.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is from Omax KO. Hope you're doing well. Do you think the Triumph has any play left now that Celestines can block ranged attack for it?
Oh, they can. That's
it's character blocked by Celestians? Interesting.
Yeah, I guess just by like generically. Look, we're gonna try her. We're gonna try her because
what got changed?
Well, she lost the ability to give extra miracles, which was her best ability.
Okay.
She still so here's the thing. She modifies miracle dice.
Okay.
Still, But guess who does that now? A Dialogus for like 50 points. So I'm happy for the Dialogus. I really am. I'm glad she's going to see the table. But I'm really sad for my main girls because that's my favorite model in the whole army. And it's, as I said in the video, if you guys haven't seen our video covering the new units, I said before you can take the Triumph of St. Catherine without nerfing yourself. But I don't know if that's true anymore. Because she's still so expensive. We will take her. We will play her. Nothing else has really changed about her. She gets all 6 Sacred Rites, which is adorable. And that's about it. So
yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish they didn't do this like treadmill of which brand new character is good, where like the old brand new character just kind of falls off the end of the treadmill.
Yeah.
And they put a new brand new character on the treadmill.
she wasn't even busted. It's not like you're seeing her on all of the top lists.
Yeah.
She was good. You know?
Yeah. I don't know why they do this.
I don't know why. Because it wouldn't be unreasonable to say she has that ability and a Dialogus has it, because you can have them on 2 parts of the battlefield. So, yeah, we'll give her a try, but she's just a little bit worse than before.
Thank you, Joseph. With Drukhari changes, I've been thinking about taking Real Space Raid Brigade. This is what, Bloody Hand?
Blackheart?
Blackheart.
Cult
Cult
Strife?
of Strife and DC?
Dark Creators.
Dark Creed?
Dark Creed, yeah.
Good units except for HS. Ravagers feel meh. Is there anything better?
Ravagers are pretty meh.
HS.
Good units except for Harry Spiders.
High school. I don't know.
Harry Spotter.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so good units in Drukhari between Blackheart, Raiders, Cult of Strife, everything, and Dark Creed. You can make the homunculus, who like the mega homunculus, who comes back.
One.
He comes back when he dies.
Yeah, if you're running Dark Creed, you should be running that.
And he fight lasts people.
No, he takes away OBSEC,
Takes away OPSEC. That's the thing.
which is cool.
He's pretty spooky.
Yeah, he's spooky.
Heavy support.
Heavy support.
Other than heavy support. Well, there is not much heavy support in the book, so most of the book.
Oh, you're thinking about ways of like dealing with tanks and stuff like that. Well, we still like Raiders, and we like just playing around it, honestly. Like, so this list today that Bridger was running, if I was going to a tournament, it would be drop the Tantalus for more Hellions, and maybe find a way to put 5 more Incubi in. And that would be it. I know it's a different style than what you're taking, but just to give a sense of what units that we think are still great and playable.
I actually don't mind only 10 Incubi. I think 10 Incubi in a Raider with Drazar makes like a cool party boat.
True.
And if you have 15, 5 Incubi are on their own, and I think they're much less good without Drazar.
Hurtful. I guess we were looking at like there's the big unit with the Agonizer of Morvain and stuff, and I don't know. I guess you could split that into 2 small units.
I would want two 5-man witch squads
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's definitely the thing.
Because I think the game is going MSU.
It's going so MSU.
Because it's like my piece takes your piece. So if I have more pieces, I'm advantaged.
I've seen people so they want not heavy support, so not Chronos. Because a lot of good players now, they're all of a sudden everyone's like, Chronos, which is so funny. Now Chronos look really good compared to the Paragon suits, if you ask me. Because they're cheaper and they have more wounds. They're kind of tougher. But I don't know. What else do you think?
I don't
These
think
core
they lack
units are the way to
anti-tank.
go.
They
Yeah.
don't lack anti-tank.
More Raiders.
Incubi with Drazar will kill anything they touch.
Yeah.
And Raiders from across the board will kill collectively any one thing every turn.
Yeah. So yeah, more Raiders, honestly. Like we hit the max in this detachment. You're a real space raid, so it's way easier for you. You can have like a ton of Raiders.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to match at all. Yeah, more Raiders. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you, True Sherlock. Morning, Titans. I super chatted earlier, but I haven't noticed my question on stream.
Oh no.
We didn't see it, True Sherlock.
Did we?
I would have read it.
We
Yeah,
can scroll back.
Yeah.
I think he's saying it again. Sorry.
Yeah, so I just ask again. I just bought Iron Warrior heads from Forge World. Any ideas how else to make my Iron Warriors more Iron Warrior-y?
Ooh.
Hazard stripes on everything.
Hazard stripes, everything. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you are willing to buy Imperial kits, there's an Iron Hands upgrade kit or upgrade sprue that has like metal arms and metal heads, and I think those would be pretty cool for Iron Warriors.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think of a lot of like Horus Heresy stuff looks much
Yeah.
more industrial, you know? You can take their tanks, convert them up. Some of the bodies, I know they're smaller, but the older armor also looks much more Iron Warriors-y to me, personally.
Yeah, Mark like 2, Mark 3 armor really makes me think Iron
Right?
Warriors.
It's so like iron wrought, you know?
Yeah,
Like
because
old
it has
school.
like the studs.
Yes. Yeah, the rivets and
The rivets, yeah. It's very old.
Exactly. So I would totally do that. I've even seen some cool, depending on how intense you want to go with the conversions, doing things like people take the Plague Wurst crawlers and clean them up. They de-Nurglify them. So you have like these nice big old like dozer blades, very Iron Warriors style, and you can make that into a rhino or a predator or something.
That's cool.
Like, that'd be a sick rhino for Iron Warriors.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little big.
It's a little big, but I don't think anyone's gonna get upset.
Oh, nobody's going to get upset if your rhino is larger.
That's true.
They will not
That's true.
complain.
Yeah. And if it looks cool too.
Thank you, Swerveter again. Is an in-person Tabletop Titans versus Tabletop Tactics crossover tournament in the works? And if not, why?
It's not currently in the works.
Well,
What? Okay. Well,
no,
specifically us playing them,
no,
not in the works.
not no, not
The reason, they're like 4,000 miles away.
a little bit. Yeah,
And COVID is still a thing. Travel restrictions are still pretty heavy.
it's true.
And we're not sure they even want to play with us. We're kind of lame.
Bunch of losers.
We might not be cool enough for them.
Yeah.
So, several reasons.
Yeah.
But I'd be down.
I would be super down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they came here.
Where are they located?
In
In
England.
Bath, in England. Yeah.
It's nicer here.
Well, all right. Now,
They have castles. That's cool.
they might not come now that we've said that. I think you just
Zach.
ruined it.
Like
Zach.
if you come, we'll fire Zach.
I've noticed that. It's fair. I've noticed that British people love the weather in California,
yeah, everyone loves the weather in California.
but especially British people.
Interesting.
Yeah. Thank you, Broken Chef. Hey, Titans. Hope you're all well. I'm feeling drawn to cast knights, but no, I shouldn't be. I have 5 war dogs and 3 knights. Loadout suggestions.
Ooh. Funny enough, I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah?
It's about armigers, man. Armigers, or
Yeah.
if you have the parts or conversion aptitude, Moirax for the war dogs.
I like Moiraxes.
I have
think they're
Chaos
cool.
Moirax, yeah. I think they're
Moiraxi?
cool. Moira.
Moira.
Moira. Moiri. Moiraxi.
We're just going to keep going.
And 3 knights.
The knights have to be rampagers, right?
Yeah, rampages still seem like the way to... Well,
Maybe one with like double
actually,
galley cannon? Or double
I'll go mixed.
the fusion, the melta, the mega melta.
The thermal.
Thermal
Yeah.
spear. Thermal cannon, thermal lance.
Well, how many do you think actually need close combat weapons? And not just use the stomps?
No, stomps are amazing.
Yeah, so you could just go double weapons on all of them. 3 despoilers.
You could.
You could give one a big weapon if you want.
You could.
That's the
no,
problem
I
with
mean,
chaos
it's probably better, but it's less chaos, less cool.
Oh, that's fair.
But you're right, it's better.
You're gonna run up
Stomping
and you're
is
gonna,
pretty chaotic,
It's pretty
though.
chaos. You're like clawing them with your big old feet, you know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's an awesome army. We love it.
Guys, we did it.
We did it?
We did it. You want to double check YouTube? I think we're good, but
I think we're.
I didn't see any pop up.
Let's check.
Actually, I did, but we might have got to it.
No,
Look
I
at me.
think- I
Look,
think
it's
we
me.
got 'em.
Hi, me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What are we? Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, we did it.
Wow. Good job, everybody. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Again, like to kind of remind you guys what is going on, recap a bit. Today we have the pre-order for the, what is it called? Adepta Sororitas codex.
Codex.
We'll be playing this a whole bunch, as always. We'll be playing this on Tuesday. Members voted game. We'll be putting up the vote right after this. You guys can decide what I will be playing, and then Bridger will play something that is appropriate to give it an interesting fight. So you choose what we want to showcase. We will showcase that. And then, of course, next Saturday, the actual launch day, once you guys have your codexes in hand with all your burning questions, we'll be playing once again. And depending, I think I'll try to bring a pretty nasty list. This one was not nasty, but there's tricks I want to try that include some things that are not just new, honestly. So we'll be doing that. Zach and I have our video we've been working on that comes out on Monday. And of course, if you haven't seen the videos that came out literally this morning, we have the top 10 most changed units, as well as a video where I go through all of the secondaries and talk about them, how they changed, give some thoughts about it. So definitely worth a watch. So much stuff happening, guys. Let me tell you, this is, I don't know when GW is going to stop this train, but we're on it, and it's moving real fast. So it's a lot of good stuff.
We have the momentum now. Now that we've been riding that train,
Yeah.
that's the speed we're going.
Now it's normal.
We're at that speed.
And it just kind of decides what we do every single week. So I guess that's easy, right?
It's our life now.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time on the Tabletop.